Men love.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Shark Out of Water, aka Meech, aka Head Honcho of Tribe of the Chosen. Today's topic, and by the way, it's my first YouTube video, so let me know how I do. And always gonna be improvements, but first time, we just gonna get at it. You know what I'm saying? But today's video, we talking about the fall of masculinity. Seen this YouTube video the other day and seen it was like pretty interesting. It described how masculinity is basically dwindling down, and not too many men are aware of this because of today's society. So I just hope that I can cover a few points and break down the video a little bit further, because whoever made this video, and give props to them, I'm gonna put them in the comments or put it in the description. Link to the original creator of this YouTube video I took, because we always give credit here. But yeah, he did a good job of explaining what's going on and what's affecting us as a culture of men and what kind of needs to happen. So very, very interesting. I liked his input, his flow, his pictures, everything. It all came together. But yeah, let's talk about it. Let's have a discussion. So without further ado,
Fight Club. Most films made over 20 years ago have long been forgotten, but among the tiny few that maintain their relevancy, Fight Club always comes on top. Because Fight Club is more than just a film, it's quite literally a religious story. The story begins deep within the narrator's mind, as we're shot through his consciousness and into the mouth of the narrator, where Tyler is preparing to turn society into rubble and begin the revolution. But how did it get to this? Well, it starts in a regular day in an artificially lighted, soul-crushing office. The narrator is a sleep-deprived, caffeinated drone. Everyone is a copy of a...
I just want to say this perfectly reflects like our society. Like everybody has to be on some type of substance, or not even substance, like something to get them throughout the day. Because I do smoke weed, I am pro cannabis, but in excess it can be bad for you. Just with anything, like too much coffee, hell, too much water can kill you. So it's just like, I just wanted to point this out, like how it just seems like
printing the same things, dressing the same, and drinking the same Starbucks lattes. The narrator is quite literally a slave to the 9 to 5, with his only passion being IKEA furniture.
What kind of dining set defines me as a person?
By living such a monotonous life, his body can no longer rest. He's never asleep, but he's never awake either. So to deal with this, he goes to find people who are deep in despair, as a way to not only feel better about himself, but also to form the deep...
This just brings me back to the point, like men are not experiencing the, I guess you could call it like primal sense or primal urge we are embedded with, from being basically a man, testosterone, all that. I guess we are, we go from 20-year-old men building houses, railroads, and things of that nature, which is like, that was like a well-respected job. Like you was almost looked at as like a damn doctor or something like that. You fast forward to nowadays, like, don't get me wrong, you still have your trades, which I'm an electrician. You still have your carpenters, plumbers, stuff like that, but that's on the decline. Because what I believe is our society is, once everything's fast, like you can't make it fast, like nobody wants to go to really go to college, nobody wants to do manual labor. That shit sucks. Like I think the whole metaverse, this whole, even hell, YouTubing, gaming, streaming like on Twitch and stuff like that, that's encouraging people to stay more at home, which is causing us a serious regression, if you ask me. I just feel like we are meant to, like you ain't gotta goddamn build a house from scratch and go chop down a whole a whole forest and put some hair on your chest. But at the same time, it's just like, I feel like we're taking away what makes men, like the hunter-gatherer, even going back to the days of the Bible, like the men were going out to go hunt and stuff like that. This is not nothing new. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to put women in the box. Women are great Women are hell smarter than men, but at the same time, you can look at the physicality of things like hunting a wild boar. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't send a woman to do that. Like vice versa, I would feel more comfortable a woman teaching my children or our children, because women are naturally more nurturing in spirit. It's like men are more physical. They can teach them like how to tie their shoe or how to change the tire out their bike or something like that. In certain circumstances, I feel like you have to play both roles. Like, you know what I'm saying? The father isn't in the picture or the woman isn't in the picture. You have to do that, but at the same time, it's going against our biological God-given code. I feel like.
Connection that is missing in his life. One of the first people he meets is a man called Bob. Bob fears for his masculinity. His testicular cancer has reduced him to a blubbering mass who's been stripped of his masculine energy. A man whose hormones morph from testosterone to estrogen. A man who's lost his children's respect. A man whose life is expiring fast. The narrator shares his pain, he feels that lost connection, and so the narrator becomes addicted to the men's whole group, because there's none of this connection anywhere else. When their workspaces, opinions, hobbies and tastes are all the same, people can't connect on that deeper level. It's only times of despair that can foster any semblance of human connection. But then why have men become so weak? What is behind this male despair? Well, I've spent countless hours studying this phenomenon, and there are three main things causing this, and they might surprise you. But before we go into that, we need to see how Fight Club
I'm glad he just said that. Like, he was talking about the guy with the high estrogen and low testosterone. That brings up my first point. This is where our society is heading. Sad to say, like, it's the food we're eating, which we're going to discuss more in later in the video. It's the daily habits, stuff of that nature. It's causing us to look like women and behave as such. It's more than just a physical thing. I think the mental, physical, spiritual is all tied together. You know what I'm saying? I can delve into that for hours, but just for the sake of simplicity, we're gonna talk about what's going on with this guy. Like, you look at him, he looks like your average overweight American person. Doesn't probably lift weights or does anything testosterone boosting, which they are things you can do. Like I said, to work out. I just love to work out, so of course I'm gonna say to work out. But hell, fixing a car, I feel like boosts testosterone. It's like accomplishing things, doing something for the good of your family. I feel like those are things that boost testosterone. And one might ask, like, what does working out have to do with boosting testosterone? I feel like you are keeping yourself in condition, and it goes back to even the olden days. Like, you have to keep yourself somewhat fit, because you're gonna be walking probably for a long ass time, hunting for a long ass time, and not to mention when you finally come face to face with the creature you're trying to kill or eat or whatever, you gotta overpower or outsmart this creature in some type of way. And there's going to be creatures that are going to try to make you their food, like bears, lions, and tigers, all that, good stuff. You got to be able to defend yourself or hell, get away. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, with the sudden boost of like fast food and things becoming more estrogen laced, I feel like it's promoting this lazy lifestyle, sedentary lifestyle. You can sit on Netflix all day and just order DoorDash your food and never leave the house. You know what I'm saying? Never go outside. That's where they're trying to go, I feel like, and that's the decline of men. Like, why you really don't see a lot of masculine men nowadays in popular media, unless he's like a goddamn superhero or something like that. Like, why does a man have to be a superhero or have some type of supernatural qualities to have qualities of a man? Like, you look at Thor. Thor is obviously a man. He has a beard. Whatever. He fights villains and shit. You look at that, And you look at people like what's actually happening nowadays. I know it's a stark comparison, but it's just like kids are like having Fortnite tournaments and crying when they can't play Fortnite because their grades are too bad and shit like that. Like back in the day, you had more shit to worry about than just not having privileges. Like hell, you wanted to live to see the next day, so you had to go out there and make a living or learn a trade like locksmithing or like making swords or dedicating your life to something other than that's gonna provide you like quick relief, I guess, or quick satisfaction is the word. So yeah, you look at this guy, you just be like, damn, like what happened? I feel like it's happening to a lot of men out here, and you heard what they said. He lost the respect of his family, his loved ones, and it's just like, even though nobody is saying it, nobody respects. And this is no shade or shots to the overweight community. I believe everyone the Most High has made is beautiful, but it's just like the more that you are obese, the less people think of you. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the fat jokes, things of that nature. They're making it popular nowadays in women, of course, but you would want a woman to look healthy. You obviously don't want a skinny anorexic woman, no shade to them. And you also don't want a too obese woman. You just want whatever you like, I guess. But the point I'm trying to make is just like they're trying to basically say this is acceptable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't word it any way better than what he just said it. Like, you got people like not respecting you because you're fat. Like, and this is not funny, but it's like, it's kind of funny. But you got to really think about your health in the long run. Like, do you really, like, yeah, we live in a society in the world, fat shaming and stuff like that, which is wrong. You shouldn't judge somebody based on their appearance, but how they live their life. Now, if you're eating 15 Big Macs a day, your goals and priorities, of course, like, is going to be funny to me. But but it's like you got to balance that out. You know what I'm saying? Too much of anything, too much excess, like I was saying earlier, can be a bad thing. So I just feel like this man probably went into some type of depression. Probably wasn't even getting sexually satisfied, and he probably wasn't doing too much sexually satisfying his wife or whatever. Start focusing more on hell eating. So it's just like, after they seen that, it was like, oh yeah, he's a pathetic excuse for a man. Like,
was masculinity in the 21st century. The story cuts forward to the narrator living out his regular life, a life of wasting time doing meaningless, unfulfilling tasks and watching his life end 1 minute at a time, where everything is packaged in atomized portions, shampoo condition combos, sample packaged mouthwash, tiny bars of soap, living a transient life where everyone he meets disappears again on the next flight, over and over. The only interesting thing in his life is the fantasy of dying in a plane crash. However, it's on one of these flights where the character Tyler Durden is introduced, a man who's the opposite of the narrator in every way. A man's man, with a big leather jacket, shades, and unlimited confidence, Tyler Durden begins to change everything. His calm, stoic confidence with his fatalistic outlook makes for a perfect testosterone-laced aura, and as he drives off in a stolen sports car, the narrator goes back to his regular life, only to find all his possessions have gone, his IKEA home has evaporated, his identity in past life has been reduced to ash. It's in this moment where the narrator begins to regain his true masculinity. Okay, so then what is causing men to feel so weak? What's behind this male disconnect in real life? Well, I think one of the main reasons behind this is that men no longer have any means of self-expression or deep connection. See, what I think Fight Club really taps into is the kind of shallow avatars we've become, where real authentic connection fades behind the 9-to-5 struggle. When you live this 9-to-5 existence in a decaying dystopian megacity, you never get that shared struggle or accomplishment. Instead, we're just working in the same room on tasks that don't engage us or put us in a natural flow state. Instead, we live a lifestyle that numbs us into flaccid apathy, devoid of passion, healthy aggression, or connection. Instead of us going out into the world, exploring the unknown, facing
another point right there. Like, we are not engaging in manly behavior. I know one can hear that and say, what is this guy talking about, manly behavior? It's just like, aggression can be good, you know, settling disputes. You know what I'm saying? Not saying you have to beat somebody's ass each time, but I feel like confrontation in all manners and forms, which doesn't require violence, like say somebody cut you off at the light or something like that. I'm not saying you should break their damn window with a car, but it's just like, I mean, I said break their window with a car, break their window with a rock. But what I am saying is, sometimes talking to somebody, not in that situation, of course, you're in traffic, but I'm saying, like, say if somebody wronged you and the situation doesn't necessarily call for violence, I feel like a lot of men are not used to confrontation anymore. So they view everything as like like attack, basically. Like, oh, he doesn't agree with what I say, he must not like me. Like, no, you can separate the thoughts from a man's actions and who a man is. Just like if you have a problem with somebody, you just don't go up punching them in the face. Like it has to lead to that. In my mind, at least, you know, for a sane person, I feel like you should always try to talk to somebody. But like I said, it's we living in a social media era where you could be in the same room with somebody and be texting them like you're in a family dinner. You're just glued to your phones, and I'm guilty of this too. It's like our interactions are being dulled and slowly taken away because of technology. Now, technology is a great thing. It's beautiful. It's, you know, how I'm making this right now, of course. But at the same time, it's taking away, I guess, the livelihood of humanity. In short, you know. So, got a bunch of men who, you know, and you hear about this all the time. You know, Twitter gangsters or internet gangsters. They just be tough on the internet, but you see them in person, they don't even want to look you in the eye. They don't even want to look your way. It's just like, what happened to this persona that you have online? Where did it go? It's because it's not truly who they are. They don't know who they are. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it doesn't always have to come to violence, but if it does, the first thing a lot of, especially men in my culture, I'm not going to condemn everybody to the same fate, but they would rather use guns than to, you know, go hand to hand. You know what I'm saying? What did Pop say on Friday? He like, you may lose, but you fight, you live, you fight to see another day or whatever he said. You know what I'm saying? So they'd be so quick to bust you. You feel me? Or shoot you, and don't even like, oh, I caught you looking at my girl at the light. Now I'm about to kill you. Like, what? It's because men are not engaging in healthy behaviors where we can have confrontation, but have healthy confrontation, where we can talk to other men without feeling like, oh, this man is about to attack me, and vice versa. Like, first of all, I'm not scared of no man on this earth. It's my time to go. It's my time to go. If a man pull a gun out on me, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna slow down time like the Matrix or something and jump out the way and grab a gun and shoot back. Like, no, if it's your time to go, it's your time to go. But the person I'm gonna be talking to or handling that situation with is gonna feel what I'm saying. You feel me? And if it come down to that, it come down to that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I feel like God teaches to be prepared for both. Like, you got to solve it with words, and if the words ain't getting to them, then you got to take matters in your own hands sometimes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not saying I'm promoting violence, but it's just like violence is in the Bible. Well, hell, what you think happened to David and Goliath? You think David went to go talk to Goliath like, hey man, I know you killing my people and you threatening us and you want to take over our land, but I'm gonna try to talk to you or give you a stern talking to. I feel like he did too, but yeah, it just wasn't working. So he had to go get that slingshot, boy, and let it rip. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do what you gotta do. But yeah, back to what I was saying. I just feel like, yo, confrontation is on the decline, and so is everything else.
shared adversity and overcoming it for the benefit of the group, we now do the same task silently at our desks. The fact is that average life for so many men means that their relationships are always functioning on a surface level. And with so many limited connections, we turn to supposedly social means of relaxing. Going on Tinder, playing video games, going to the bar to supposedly unwind. You see all these men piling up in sticky low-end clubs to bathe in the...
Yo, don't get me started on that Tinder shit. Like, that Tinder shit, like, look up, it's a video I watched about Tinder, like, basically taking away the courtship and the romance out of anything. Like I said, the fast gratification. You swiping. Don't even know if you're gonna get a match or not. And I'm talking from the male standpoint. Of course, your woman, you have things a little bit more easier, if you know what I mean. You get probably like hella fucking inboxes a day versus a good-looking guy. You know what I'm saying? A good-looking guy has to put in 10 times as much work as an average looking female. But that's neither here nor there. Back to what I was saying, Tinder and the whole process, like the whole dating site aspect, is to work on your fast gratification. Like, oh, I got a match. Oh, I didn't. Oh, I got a match. Like, that's like a reward system. I forget what they call it. It's inside of your brain that activates every time, you know, you get a sensation, like when you smoke or when you hell, get some money in your account or something like that. It's a something. I can't think of it right now, but they play on that aspect of the human mind. So when it comes to guys that are not so lucky with women, it can really cause a depression. Like, oh, I'm not good enough to get a match. And you see all these people, they advertise like, oh, you see motherfuckers going on dates and goddamn meeting the love of their life, and you hear success stories or some, you know, websites say they, you know, people marry from that shit. I don't feel like it's up to a website to find your true love. Like I said, I'm more biblical. The Most High will show you that person, but at the same time, they play on your need for love and gratification. Like, they want you to feel the sensation, like, oh, you can have love, but you gotta keep going. You gotta keep going through this, and then that's when the whole upgrade to Tinder Gold, and you can see all these matches and shit like that. And then you, I ain't never paid for that shit. I have used Tinder, but you know, a homie that paid for that shit, and all the people he matched with, that, you know, they kind of conceal it to the people you guaranteed to match with. So you have to pay like a certain fee to unlock that. But my homie, he unlocked that feature. All them girls was busted as hell. Like, like I said, I ain't trying to talk down nobody. I feel like everybody beautiful. But that's why I say they try to get that money out you, get your time and attention, so they can use this app to make money. But yeah, that's all I'm saying about that.
Waters of the profane, destroying their body to the crescendos of recycled thumping bass, scantily dressed paralytic women, and salivating droog-like men, rushing to the refuge of an inebriated stupor to feel some sort of connection. These low-end bars, clubs, and Tinder are like a slot machine, where you spend your money and time to get hooked on the prospect of winning a sloppy, disconnected hookup. If deep social connections were normal for men, if men felt connected to their labor and the people around them, where they felt like a healthy, unrepressed individual, there would be no need for any of this. We wouldn't be wasting our lives getting drunk, standing out in dead-end clubs until God knows when, to be with everyone else who's doing nothing with their lives, all for the hopes of meeting someone to get off of, and then only to repeat the cycle every single week, all because you just want to feel that love and connection you never had. It makes it hard to be an upwardly mobile young man when your life is defined by throwing your money at video games and getting plastered in a pool of vomit.
Woo! Boy, he hit the nail on the motherfucking head with all he just said right there, boy. He said, what he said, you go to the club basically to stand around in the hopes of meeting somebody. And what you doing really is playing a slot machine, for real. I'm not condemning like going out and having fun with your friends. If you're going to have fun with your friends, have fun with your friends. Don't prioritize, and I'm speaking to the men, don't prioritize your time with your guys or your friends on how many women you get. Like, that is the corniest shit ever. Like, it make you not even want to enjoy your time, because let's face it, like, you can be goddamn Denzel Washington, you feel me, without no money. I gotta throw that in there. Without no money type shit. And it's just like you could still not gonna have fun if you base your whole night on how many women you get or how many women you sleep with by the end of that night. Like if it happens, it happens. It don't, it don't. That's the mentality that I have at this point in my life. I can only speak for myself. If that's your thing to go chase women and buy them drinks and try to get them drunk and the whole fucking go around, like that's your thing, that's your thing. But just don't make that everybody else's thing, like, oh, you corny if you don't do this. Like motherfuckers would spend a whole paycheck on a woman they never even had sex with, just in hopes that they might like them enough to have sex with them. Like think about it, you have guys, even the guys that buy like designer shit, and like there's nothing wrong. Again, I say this again, there is nothing wrong with looking good and buying expensive things. But if you are using that as a cover to basically to attract women, you already lost, my boy. You already lost. If you need that to attract a certain type of woman, that woman, for one, that woman is not for you because they see beyond that bullshit. They know you're a corny cuz. So they like, okay, he probably got some money. Let me see what money I can get out of him. But that's neither here nor there. Back to what he was saying, like, yo, you got people that try to fulfill that void by, going on Tinder, going on these little dates and shit. Not even, the person don't even really like your ass sometimes. And like I said, I'm just speaking from the man's standpoint. I can only imagine what women go through. But I'm a man, so I'm speaking from a man's standpoint. You can take a woman out to eat, and they may not even ever call you again. Nothing could be wrong with you. They could have found you attractive. Just something, they just didn't mesh with. And they just like, okay, at least I got a meal. All right, never going to hear from me again. It happens to me. Happens to the best of us. Happens to, friends I know. It just happens in this culture. Just like I'm sure it's a female equivalent to that situation. That's annoying about this whole online dating and instant gratification seeking. Like this is sick, But yeah, he hit the nail on the head with that one.
And in the last few years, with jobs going remote, people becoming unemployed and robots replacing manual labor, we've become even more depressed and isolated. And men are on the brunt of all of this, with male suicide rates reaching an all-time high in recent years. Because men lack the social connection and purpose that necessitates a happy life. Okay, so then how can this be fixed? What's the solution to this deep-rooted problem? Well, this is what Fight Club seeks to work out. After the narrator comes back to find all his possessions burnt to the ground, his male transformation begins. So in a last-ditch effort for redemption, the narrator calls Tyler, where they discuss his possessions and identity being destroyed. As he rants about his possessions being destroyed, Tyler reminds him how destructive this consumer mindset really is. He talks about how this makes men weak, detaching us from our hunter-gatherer instincts.
We are byproducts of a lifestyle obsession.
Tyler describes this as being one of his main concerns with society. His concerns aren't crime, war, or poverty. It's celebrity magazines, televisions with 500 channels, Viagra, Xanax. Tyler describes all these comforts as just being coping mechanisms for living in such an unnatural world. To revert back to what is truly felt, Tyler asks the narrator to punch him. He wants to feel something.
Alright, before we get to that crazy part about them actually fighting and shit, I just want to touch on like what I just said. Like, you try to cope with something that's not feeling right. Like, I don't feel like this is right for me to do. Like, there's nothing wrong with sitting around playing the game sometimes. Drinking the cold one beer. I drink beer. But if you make that your life, like, that's all you do. You sit around the TV, you get fat, get lazy, you don't have any real goals. Like, something about that, at least for me, just does not feel natural. Like, I come from a long, line of working men. That's had something to do with it, of course, but it's like, if I go too many days without, just with just relaxing, it's hard for me. Like, it's hard unless I'm on like vacation or something. Like, it's always something for me to do. Like, I'm playing guitar, I'm trying to learn guitar, reading a book, I'm, you know, trying to start this YouTube channel and page and stuff like that. DoorDash on the side. I'm an electrician, so I feel like there's going to the gym. It brings me back to all the points I'm trying to make. There is always something for you to do. Like, granted, you shouldn't run yourself into the ground with too many things to do, because you can overwhelm yourself and stress yourself out. But at the same time, you gotta have a healthy outlet for things, you know. And that's why I feel like the miscommunication is coming along. You got, no offense to a bunch of women trying to tell men how to live their life and what to do. And that's where modern marriages are going. Like, you know, went from the man being the head of the household to it slowly, well, not saying slowly, it's really shifting towards the woman. That's why they say happy wife, happy life. There's nothing wrong with your wife being happy. But if you are not happy as well, there is a fucking problem. Like, since when did just prioritizing one part of the relationship, which is the woman, and not prioritizing the other half, which is the man, when does that equate to anything happy? You know, when does that equal anything in the long term happiness? You're just trying to show, you know, verify with somebody, and I can speak on a whole tangent about this. I feel like both parties have to be equally happy, equally ready, and equally wanting the same things in order for things to actually thrive and survive in this world. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. I'm preaching to the choir at this point. You know, we could sit back here and have a whole discussion about modern relationships and marriage and just unionships and courtships in general. But it's just like, it all starts with, you got to look at yourself too. You can't just go around blaming women like, oh, they don't want me. That's incel talk. That's beta male talk. They're talking like a fucking wimp. Like, you know, they don't want to date me, so that's why I jack off for 5-7 hours a day, or I got a fucking a pocket pussy because I just can't find no pussy. Like, no, man. Like, that shit is weak, man. Like, go out there. I don't care if you get rejected 100 times. Like, you never know. The 101st time, that could be the love of your life, or somebody at least you could fuck with, you know. But hey, that's my soapbox.
He wants to be taken back into the now, the present, and feel a swell in his masculine energy. And so they begin to beat each other hand to hand. After the fight, they go back to Tyler's house, which is a rundown, abandoned, disgusting house, with boarded up windows, leaking pipes, and infested with moss, all to destroy the narrator's addiction to comfort. And within a month, the narrator no longer misses TV. He doesn't miss his possessions, he enjoys the discomfort. He's confident and aggressive, and other men become allured by his life. They gather by the dozens to fight with each other, all of them wanting to fill that untapped masculine energy. This pattern only continues to grow. All these men who are fed up with being weak losers. These men who have lost their way, who feel resentful of the world around them, leading to the formation of an underground group known as Fight Club. A club dedicated to rejecting what they claim.
And this is where our ideologies differ vastly. Like, you do not have to create some type of underground boxing club to feel like a man. Like, yes, men are protectors, providers, should be able to protect them, you know, protecting themselves first and foremost before they can protect anyone. But do you have to join some underground cult of fighting to feel like a man? No, I don't feel like that is correct. I just don't really see, like, yeah, okay, you get that adrenaline, you get that testosterone boost flowing. Like, that's what boxing is for. That's what male competitive sports really are for. I can go on basketball, football, like, you get the same type of feeling, and you're not doing anything illegal. You know what I'm saying? You can go settle a difference on the basketball court. You don't gotta fucking beat somebody's ass or get your ass beat to prove a point or get a point proven. yeah, that's where I feel like they start going real cultish in this movie. Like, if you haven't seen it, go watch it, of course. But yeah, it was just really that's like taking a good idea and running far left with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they went from trying to, create some type of brotherhood. There's nothing wrong with that. And then running far left with it and creating some wild shit, like to blow up some buildings and kill some people and shit like that. That's some incel shit, like some involuntary celibate type shit. Like, you mad at the world because you can't get no poontang, or because you haven't had much success in life, so you're gonna try to take it out on other people, or other men, or women. That is the lamest shit ever, man. And that just goes to show you, like, all this suppression, because that's what it's culminating to, is suppression of being a man. Is like, no, you don't gotta slap nobody, you don't gotta take advantage of no woman to be a man, you don't have to build a barn and be a farmer from scratch to be a man. But at the same token, in essence, you have to have healthy outlets, healthy outlooks on life, a balance between the feminine energy that's getting pushed 24/7 from not only our partners, but our social medias and things of that nature, and media in general, to actually finding yourself. Like, what do you as a man like? You know what I'm saying? What do you like? It don't gotta involve you beating somebody ass half to death. Like, I don't see what you can learn from that other than how to fight. Like, okay, once you get that skill down, learn something else. Join a boxing club. Like, they could have all just did that and formed a little boxing league, and did other events, like, together as men. Like, actually have men talk groups to actually talk about this problem, instead of like just beating each other ass, and then going from that to, hey, it sounds like a great idea, let's blow some shit up and take it out on other people because we have lost our way in life. Like, no, that's corny as hell. That's giving me I don't even know the word for it. That's giving me some dark spirit vibes. Like, when you're getting channeled by a dark spirit, I will say demon. Demon is more acceptable in my terminology, but you gotta be more affluential, I guess. So I say dark spirit. The spirit is taking over you when you don't know who you are. So I say find yourself and then go from there.
To be feminine conformist indoctrination, and it's around this time that the narrator starts to be perceived differently. He's now seen as an individual. In fact, all of the people at Fight Club now stand out from the rest. They aren't just carbon copies anymore. They are battered, they dress and act differently. These aren't the same men. With this rejuvenation of the masculine and rejection of the mundane conformity, the narrator becomes hungry. He becomes hypersexual. He smokes in his office. He looks at disgust at the drones surrounding him, the comfort, the passive aggressiveness and mundanity. He sacrifices all of this to revel in the discomfort.
You give up the condo life, give up all your flaming worldly possessions.
This idea of sacrificing.
Now, that I do agree with. You have to go through some level of uncomfortability to ascend or level up in life. Like, share a quick personal experience. Living out my car for like a whole month and a half before I, started really focusing on my finances and, building myself up. So I was still going to work. I still had a job. I was in school for a trade school, and I was a full-time father. So it was just like I was still doing what I had to do, but it was just like very uncomfortable. Like, I had to go take showers at the gym I was working out at, and I still went to the gym, So it was just like, that's where I go back to taking care of your mental health and taking care of yourself, and everything falls in line. Like, it just feels right to you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, go through a little uncomfortability for a major come up.
comfort becomes central to the ethos of Fight Club. To join Fight Club, you have no choice but to fight. Comfort is consumerism, and Fight Club seeks to kill both of these things. Because to these men, comfort is what made men so weak, and one of the biggest causes of comfort is the narrator's 9-to-5 job. So to move away from this cushy, sterile office life, the narrator and Tyler begin to make soap. Why soap? Well, this becomes clearer later on, but for now, the two raid a liposuction clinic for human fat to make soap, and during this process, Tyler pours lye onto the narrator's hand as an initiation. How much comfort is he willing to sacrifice for his future self? As Tyler tells him, without pain or sacrifice, we would have nothing, and once you have nothing,
Alright, I'm gonna call it for the first half of this video. There's more to it, obviously, but I'm gonna stop it here because it's already getting too long. It's like 40-something minutes. But yeah, just want to say he's going down a real bad path because he thinks he's finding himself, but if you watch the movie and as you find out later on, he creates a whole persona in his mind to basically cope with not letting his true manliness, for lack of a better word, to come out. So his mind made this person up, the guy with the leather jacket played by Brad Pitt, to help him cope, like I said, cope with this reality that he's living in. But yeah, that's the first half of this video. Plan on doing the second half soon, depending on what response I get from this. Make sure y'all follow me on Tribe of the Chosen. That's Tribe _ of _ the Chosen. Or hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, Tribe _ of _ the _ Chosen. A lot of underscores, I know. But yeah. Let me know how y'all feel about this. Y'all take it easy. Be safe.